It's nice when you work in a company and you get to meet people that are kind of into the same stuff as you are, and like, where were you all my life?
That is actually very rare. Where I work in the IT sphere,
yeah,
I think there's like one dude who shops here as well with his girlfriend, and she's a cosplayer, and he's into mostly like Power Rangers and stuff like that. There's another dude who also on the fringes of this. He's more a tabletop / card gamer.
Yeah.
Magic and all of those things.
Yes.
And then I used to work with a guy who was pretty much almost in sync with all the stuff that we're into.
Okay.
And he left. So it's like, I get to the office and there's things I want to talk about.
There's no one to.
Yeah, and even the close guys I work with in sales, they watch the podcast. They see eps. It amazes me that they even watch it because it's not their interest. But they come in on Monday, they were like, oh, cool episode. I'm like, oh, thanks. And that's kind of where it ends because they're like...
They're not into that stuff, you know?
Totally, 100%.
Sorry, we do that for sync.
Oh, okay.
The clap,
so we can put it all together.
We had this whole little chat going and then there.
So just quick clarification, like the mic.
Yeah.
Does it have to be as loud? Okay, do I need to hear myself as loud as I hear you guys, or...
Yeah.
Not really. No.
Yeah, ideally in the same range, but
it seems okay. I can.
From what I'm hearing, yes, you seem like you're on a good level, and looking there, we can see your level looks pretty decent.
Awesome.
Nice.
Exciting
Should I play the little intro thing here?
You can. Wrong button.
You should get these things labeled, Warren.
Damn it.
What's up?
How's it going, buddy?
Good and you, man.
And I think we should say a special hello to our special guest, Jeff. Jeff, say hi to the audience.
My name is Jeff. How's it, guys?
How's it going?
No, good and you?
Good, man, good. For those that don't know, this is Jeff. Now, here we go. Take one. Jeff Seitert. Your take?
I'm just not going to try it.
Just give it a go.
Let's see. He'll correct us.
Catert.
See, in the previous episode, Mark was the closest.
Oh.
But my surname is pronounced Catart.
Catart.
Yeah, so I think we have something in common there. The Warren, both our surnames have cat in it.
Yeah, close.
So my surname is Belgian.
Oh, okay.
So it's a very unusual surname. I always like giving people an opportunity to pronounce it. I don't mind if they butcher it, but you know,
at least they try.
At least they try, you know.
Yeah, that's something we have in common because my surname's like from Lebanon.
Okay. Yes.
And I also give people a chance to, and I get like the biggest range of random things. So
the funny thing about his is like I know how to pronounce it properly.
Yeah.
But I've just gotten into this thing of calling it like Yaman, and then I've changed Yaman to ham. So ham or Haman, and then that evolved to ham sandwich. So it's
right.
just
It looks pretty yummy, so.
Right. That's what his wife tells him every night.
Yes.
So thank you so much for joining us, and
awesome.
for those out there that don't know why Jeff is
it might
on
be
the show,
first episode they're tuning into or something like that.
It could be. Jeff's with us because we asked him. No, I'm kidding. Last year we actually ran a competition sponsored by Cosmic Comics, that's where we're filming today. Change of scenery, you might see all the action figures, comic racks in the background. They sponsored us a competition for one lucky viewer or subscriber to our podcast to win a Stan Lee Minico statue. And Jeff over here was our lucky winner at the end of the day and recipient. And hold up your prize there, Jeff. There we go. Stan Lee Minico. Mark's just trying to get the GoPro going so we can film that. Try to get a shot with Jeff and Stan. Jeff. Stan.
Yeah,
the man, the legend. And I'll let you pick which one is which.
Yeah, no, I think we're referring to Stan Lee and not me, okay? He's the man.
I don't know. That's not what your girlfriend told me.
Is that so?
So yeah, Jeff was our lucky winner of the
Yes.
Stanley Minico. Coincidentally, he's told us that there's even a more limited.
Yes, I understand there's a limited edition that's coming out. I don't know how many it's limited to, but
Yeah.
the only difference is the statue will come now with Stanley wearing an orange jumper, and I think it looks cool. But I like the classic green look. It's
I do
Stanley's
too.
look.
But actually, it works entirely. I get the orange because
Yeah.
over the last week or so, I've been watching a lot of interviews
Yes.
with Stan. On one of them was actually on Larry King, especially with Larry King
King
passing
passing
away.
Yeah.
The late great Larry
Yeah.
King. My YouTube feed just had tons of old classic Larry King
Yes,
interviews,
yes.
and one of them was Stan Lee,
Oh, okay.
and Stan was
Awesome.
on there in his orange.
Jumper.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
right, yeah.
I get it. I understand that, but I like the green.
No, I do too. I attribute this look to Stan, and
Yeah.
no, it's awesome. I really like the statue a lot, and
I
I feel
think-
very fortunate to have won this prize. You know, I enjoyed the content that Mark and Warren put up on YouTube on the Asylum Pod, and I thought I'd give it a go. And this is the first statue in my collection,
Nice.
and
That's awesome.
I think it's a great way to start a collection of statues. The late
Wait.
great awesome Stan.
He says that now until he starts getting into it, and it's the
Oh,
costs just
Yeah.
go up. But
No, no, I've mainly been collecting comics only, and
Mm.
I was looking for the perfect first statue, and
Yeah.
I thought this was maybe a great way, and it turned out in my favor, so I'm very happy.
I love it when that happens, like almost like stars and universe and everything kind of just
Just a line.
yeah, 100%, and it's
Awesome.
the right thing for the right person.
Yeah, having said that, since Jeff obviously is a really cool fan of ours, maybe dive into and tell us how you just found comics and got into comics for you.
Well, comics, I'm 23 years old. I was born in 97, and
Wow,
so
I matriculated in '97.
I'm pretty young, so I started out as a movie fan first. You know,
Okay.
I really enjoyed cinema, and
Mm.
if I really think about it, I considered filmmaking as a career path.
Oh, wow.
As a youngster, and
Which elements of it, or
well, directors and
Okay.
stuff like that. I wanted to direct movies.
wow,
Because I was a movie fan first and foremost. And
Yeah.
then, growing up, I was introduced to the Sam Raimi SpiderMan movies, and that's where my love for the superhero genres had started.
they
Um,
were magical. I mean, the
uh,
first time you saw Spidey,
Definitely. Oh,
rooftop to rooftop, building
Yeah.
to building, it was
I still get goosebumps every time I rewatch those Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, and
Nice.
they're really cool. It had started the way to my love for superheroes in general, and
Mm.
then over the years, I didn't know how to get access to comics, and
Yeah.
I only really enjoyed and consumed the movies and TV shows that had come out, and then about I would say over the years we were I was into gaming
Okay.
with my brother, and we would go buy PlayStation 2 and Xbox games at a second-hand place in Edenvale.
right.
And what we had come to discover, there was a comic shop in Edenvale by the name of ZB's Comic Shop.
I worked at ZB's.
And I found this place, and I was like, damn, they've got comic books here.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how comic books worked at that point in time, so I bought comics, came home, put my rubber gloves on. I thought, oh, okay, this stuff is worth lots of money. And turns out now I just bought like a 20 Rand comic off the shelf at the time.
You
And
know,
then-
you joke, but
Yeah.
the famous classic story for a lot of
Yeah.
people is the old either the first appearance of Cable or the first appearance of Deadpool, where
Yes.
for years that was 20 Rand comic, no one cared. Suddenly a movie drops that just everyone loves, and before you know it, that 20
Yeah.
Rand comic shoots up in
3,000
value.
rand,
So
yeah.
Yeah. So,
don't throw them away
no,
just yet.
100%. I still have those comics, and so yeah. And then the movies got popular, and I finished I finished my second year at university in 2017, and what that meant was, okay, I needed to go find work and do my in-service training to get my qualification.
Just tell the folks what it is that
So
you're doing.
yeah, I'm an industrial engineer with my focus area being process improvement. I work for a company in Pretoria by the name of Universal Paper. It's a tissue and Soviet manufacturing company.
Awesome. So in the pandemic,
Yeah.
folks, Jeff's going to hook us up with toilet paper. We will not be those others.
I love what I do. I focus on quality management and stuff like that. So I studied
Cool.
industrial engineering, and in my second year, I moved to Krugersdorp to work for a company there, and I had come to discover that there was a comic shop in Randburg, and so literally the weekend I moved in, I made a stop here before I moved into my place.
Right.
It was overwhelming. So much content to see, and I fell in love with everything, and that's where my comic collecting had initially started. But prior to that, I discovered comics in a weird way. I was like, there's all this awesome content that's out there, and I did my research, and I looked for it, and I ordered a whole bunch of comics from mycomicshop.com overseas.
Yeah.
Specifically the True Believers, because all the reprints of the classic stories, and I thought, okay, that's
At a good
great
price
way,
too.
At a good price, yeah. So it was a great way for me to get caught up on the history of comics, and then that came in. Moved to Krugersdorp, found that there was a comic shop here in Randburg, and ever since then, the bug bit me, and I collect comics now on a regular basis. There's a lot of characters I like, and I get all my books on core order from them, and I've
Awesome.
been buying from Cosmic since 2018.
Okay. When you discovered them, was it this store or the store before this?
Well, this was the store, yeah. They just moved in, actually,
Okay.
So they were still getting things sorted on the lower levels and everything. So it was very different to what it is
Crazy
today.
that it's been years already. Eh?
Right,
It feels
you
like
forget.
yesterday for me.
Yeah, 100%.
When they were at the oldest store.
That's
Yeah,
madness.
That's
Wow.
really cool. What they've managed to do and see what comes into the country is amazing.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, dude, you should see all the stuff that you don't know about. Like, oh man, we used to get that previews thing, and exclusive stuff would be sent to us to say, like, do you or don't you want this?
Yes.
And some of it you'd like yearn for, dream for, but just too costly, too big, bulky, whatever it was to bring it in. There's so much out there. And now
crazy.
more than ever. I mean, when I was working, it was very much still so niche, because I think the first X-Men movie probably had dropped back then.
Yeah,
so
2000 was the first X-Men. One thing you just know as a fun fact, I'm very good with movie release dates. So if you tell me a comic book movie, I will most likely tell you the year it came out.
That's impressive.
So X-Men came out in 2000.
Yeah, and when I was working in the store, I mean, it was still so niche, so specific. The people that would come in, we would have people like walk past and like look in the windows,
it's like
glare.
the strangest thing they've
100%.
seen ever.
And it was only after those initial Marvel movies that people were going, okay, and then the Nolan Batmans and stuff, that people went.
And then Big Bang Theory and everything that followed.
Yeah, a lot of people
I honestly think that of all of the stuff, it was Marvel's the cinematic universe from Iron Man on.
It cemented that.
Yeah, and Big Bang Theory in conjunction with it, making it just accessible, not shun, not turn your back on it, not put it in this corner to say, no, that's for the geeks and the freaks. It's
like everyone's aboard the hype train now, and it's like
it's mainstream.
You meet someone and you can easily ask them, do you know who Tony Stark Iron Man is? And they'll most likely say yes. So
exactly,
it's really awesome.
And a lot of them have taken a similar-ish kind of route to you. Movies was what got them into this.
Yeah, we had this conversation, and it's definitely, remember I said it's a generational thing, and that's why it did frustrate me, and I know I've mentioned this in an older episode, where a lot of the like older purist comic book readers are like, oh, these people just, but that was a point of entry for them. It's just how the generations work,
Sure.
Definitely.
Dude, for me, I'm happy, like we've spoken about it, I'm happy for anyone to get into this world, whatever way they do. The thing where I start to not get annoyed, but it just frustrates me a little bit is when they get in, they tag themselves as, oh no, I'm a fan, I'm a geek, I'm a whatever, but they don't branch, they don't explore, they don't try like Jeff, seek out a place like this and go, I've fallen in love with these characters, I'm interested, I'm intrigued, I want to know more. A lot of them, they see a movie, they love the movie, and I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But then they'll go to all their friends and stuff, and they'll buy the T-shirts with Iron Man on or with the Avengers on, and call themselves a fan, but not touch any of this other world, even if it's digital, whatever it is.
There's so much more to tap into, and I think I've developed more of a love for certain characters by reading the comics.
And then Mark's recently discovered that. I mean, I was the one who was pushing him to say, look, just get a couple trade paperbacks, read, get the full story behind you, and then see. And you said it often, like some of those episodes we do where we get to talk about what we read.
Yeah.
There's so much in there that people don't know about. There's stories like in Infinity War that what people got to see movie-wise versus what's in the comics.
100%.
And both stories are cool for their own what they are.
That's the one thing you'll read the comics and you'll enjoy it, but then also you'll become a little bit more nitpicky when the movies come out and like they didn't do a faithful adaptation for the thing. But
Sure,
you've got to
100%.
respect difference. The creative differences are always going to be happening.
Yeah, and there's also just so much you can do in a film, versus a comic.
Yeah.
Comic, you got pages and pages and volumes and volumes.
100%.
In a film, you've got max 3 hours to tell a story. Done. So
definitely,
But dude, every now and again though, there's certain things that they do in the film that grabs me. Like for example, Deadpool's a good example. Never liked Deadpool. Always thought he was whatever character. Ryan Reynolds does Deadpool.
So Brandon didn't hear that.
And well, dude, for me it's like Mark said it a few times. Whenever we read Deadpool comics, we hear Ryan Reynolds' voice.
So
because
true,
he
right?
is Deadpool now.
Yeah, you can't see it any other way. And if people draw it to make it look different or possibly be different to Reynolds,
but I'm still gonna think
that
it's
upsets
Ryan
me. That
Reynolds,
annoys me because it's like, no, Reynolds is Deadpool now.
Yep.
I look at Star-Lord. Before that, Star-Lord was probably a third tier character that no one cared about.
100%.
Now, unless people draw him to make him look like Chris Pratt or in that kind of vein, for me, it's not. I don't like it. It's like Star-Lord needs to look like this now, thanks to that movie.
No, definitely.
And what he did to own that character and that role. Yondu originally in the comics was, also giant fin and all that. Again, a fringe character, and thanks to Michael Rooker's performance, Yondu's cool. And like when you see Yondu, you hear that voice, like Mary Poppins, y'all. It's So
definitely,
from that regard, I think that the movies, the TV shows have. I mean, John Bernthal's a good example as the Punisher.
Yes.
For me now, no one can fit that role unless it's John Bernthal. And I saw an article, apparently they're going to bring him in to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Even, what's his name, man? I don't know his real name, but the dude that did Daredevil.
Yes.
Charlie Cox,
Yes. I mean,
flipping hell, he's
the way he
phenomenal,
looks, his mannerisms, it's just...
It portrays the character.
Yeah, he plays a blind person really well.
100%. And now...
I'll be honest, I mean, that series alone has got me into reading Daredevil. And now I'm reading Chip Zdarsky, Marco Cicchetto's run on Daredevil, and it's fantastic.
Dude, Chip Zdarsky for me is a great writer. Hey,
it's so good.
Oh, he's amazing. I mean, I was reading his Sex Criminals, and if you pick that up as well, I don't think you'll be disappointed.
Haven't read it yet, but
look,
we'll see what happens.
It's in the name. It's a raunchy book. There, he doesn't pull punches when it comes to sex and the different sides of sex and all the various. Saying hello to Shane over there, the owner. How's it, Shane? So I recommend that book to anyone to pick up. But literally, like, after you get past the first chapter of the story, the sex becomes almost like it's a prop in the story. And the way Chip Zdarsky writes, man, you get connected to these characters emotionally. Like I physically found myself at some points in the story almost like shouting at the book, going, how can you do that? No, you can't do that to this thing. And I want to read on to see if it's going to be corrected or if that's where it's going to play out, and I'm going to be annoyed and upset with Zdarsky for writing that part of the story. So, great writer, and I can imagine his Daredevil stuff must
Daredevil's
be
good. His take on Spider-Man's been good. So I'm keen on touching on his other works.
Yeah, do that. And in the Daredevil vein, I would encourage you to go back to some of the Frank Miller stuff. Year One and all of those, Daredevil Yellow. Very, very good stuff that he did there.
Having said that, I know it's a really tricky question. You might have answered it, but if you could pick one all-time favorite character, who is it?
That's got to be Spidey.
I figured from what you just said from the film.
The Raimi film.
No, the Toby as Spider-Man cemented my love for Spider-Man in general, and I'll pick up almost anything Spider-Man. I really do like the character. Could relate to him in a sense, the teenager that doing his utmost best to survive out there. And I really enjoy the character. I love Spider-Man.
And I think the people that write Spider-Man well understand that trying to please everyone kind of thing
so
that Peter
difficult.
Parker has, where he's trying to do right by Aunt May. He's trying to do the best for Mary Jane or whomever he's seeing, and then at the same time, just be the hero, fit in in the hero community and stuff too, and balancing.
Yeah, he's gone through so many challenges in his life, you know, with the death of many friends and family, and to cope with that is, I give him props, and I respect what he has to deal with, and all the. He still has that sense of responsibility to overcome anyone, and that's why I gravitate towards that character.
Nice.
Yeah, Kingpin is not easy to deal with, so
no, definitely.
You see, now again, for me, the thing that another one of the elements that I loved about Spider-Man is I've often said that in comic books, on the Marvel side, nobody has as diverse and as colourful a rogues gallery as Spidey does. And same on the DC side with Batman.
That's my immediate comparison.
100%. And I don't think there's any kind of crossover. Like, you can't look at a Spidey villain and say, oh, that's exactly like this villain of Batman's. They're completely different, completely unique. And just that alone, I think, really gives the character a whole other dimension, or gives any story with Spider-Man, because it's like, which villain is going to test him now or go up against him? And you mention the Kingpin, and even now, I sit there and I go, whew, I'm on the fence. Is he more of a Daredevil kind of arch nemesis, or still a Spidey arch nemesis? Whew, it's a tough one. And I get probably testament to the Kingpin as a villainous character, how strong that character is, that whose villain is he? You know, like, okay.
But like, talking on Kingpin, I mean, I can't see anyone else other than Vincent D'Onofrio as
he nailed that, hey.
And they gave him time to like expand on the character, and you really get invested in him as a villain,
and they did it in such a clever way, because all the times you see him and you see what's motivating him, man, there's a part of you that goes, I can't argue. It's like, maybe he's going about it a bit of an extremist way, but fundamentally, and that makes it very tough at the end when Hero comes up against this villain, because you're going, well, I kind of like both of your ideals, takes. It's just, I can recognize that one of you is probably a bit more of the evil one than the other, and that's testament to good writing.
That's the best villains are the ones you can relate to. I mean, otherwise 100%. It's just pointless.
No, definitely.
100% right. 100%.
Like, you asked your question. I mean, like, my all-time favorite character. Okay, I'll speak in the Marvel side is Spider-Man, but when I go to DC, it's Batman.
Okay.
And it's mainly because of his rogues gallery, like you were touching base on, Warren. It's like such a colorful rogues gallery. Like, he has to deal with one villain this week that's like this, and he'll go through this whole story, and I found that very exciting. So
agreed, 100%. And again, the right writer writing the right villain really gives you a whole new take or look at that villain. And like you say, if you can get me to connect with him, identify with him, it really does make the story more compelling, and you invest a lot more in it from both sides. Seeing good and evil there. So definitely.
Cool.
So, if you liked what Mark and I were talking about here, or just like our content in general,
please like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification for more videos.
And do us a favor and find us on the social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram.
See you in the next video.